All right, hello. War games. War games. Okay. I can't. I need to mention that there's several connections with Back to the Future and war games, and we'll probably touch on a couple of them in a little bit. But there's the whole Matthew Broderick, um, Michael J. Fox thing going on. But I think they kind of wanted Matthew Broderick for Back to the Future, supposedly at one point in time, but it's all just stories they tell. But anyway, there's a really interesting connection with what's going on right now in the world of football. Do you want to play a game? Do you want to play a game? Yes, football, please, not tic-tac-toe. What was I going to say? So there's this connection with what's been going on with football, and if you recall, we did the whole Aussie decode and the what was the other? What was I? Peyton Manning connections. All these connections to football. Okay, and the big thing was the number plate on the yellow car in Back to the Future referenced Aussie and football, FOTBAAL, football that way, and that was an Aussie reference connecting us back to football. Okay, and it was on that number plate, the ULG number plate, that is the next number plate you see after the For Mary number plate, right before Marty sits down and gives Mrs. Doubtfire 25 cents for the flyer in front of the clock tower there. The Save the Clock Tower scene. Okay, so where am I going with this? There's an interesting reference in war games to, in fact, back to this whole football scenario. So we're going to have to listen to a little bit of this here. So I'm going to play a second or two. I might have to stop it and then play it again. But let's just see if I can pick up on it. Just pay attention to what people are saying in this. And I think I've got it. Maybe I've got it turned up loud enough. I'm not sure. Hopefully we don't get too much of an echo. Okay, get ready for this.
Impact re-entry vehicles.
What's that mean?
I don't know, but it's great.
All stations, this is Crystal Palace.
So did you hear that last little bit there? She said, all stations, this is Crystal Palace. And so what she is referring to, this is her right here speaking. This is the control center that basically Lightman hacks into the Whopper computer, the Whopper, and then initiates the whole war game scenario to kick off. Okay, right, Crystal Palace. We just talked about this with the football stuff. It's absolutely mental that in fact I was watching somebody else's video and they just had this trailer on it, and I just happened to hear that again. I'm like, oh yes, that is the operations room, Crystal Palace. Oh dear. And so I'm like, oh, I've got to do this video now. So anyway, we were talking about Crystal Palace FC Football Club, and what was interesting about it was, well, there were several things that were interesting. One of the interesting things was the founding date. Okay, the 10th of September 1905. So we had the 9-1 numerology for the 1st of September connected in here, just as Madonna has that 9-1 numerology connected in with her, with Guy Ritchie's birthday, which just happens to be the 10th of September. And Ozzy had Sharon's birthday, which was the 9th of October. So this 10-9, 9-10 thing going on. Anyway, all could be referencing back to the 1st of September, just simply 9-1 numerology. Okay. The 1905 was interesting as well, with the 195 and the number jump from the beginning of the United States to 91. 91,005 days. Okay, so the beginning to the end maybe. And right now Crystal Palace is 119 years old. Well, what's interesting about this is that it's going to turn 120, so we're going to go out of the 911 here, and it will go to the 12 o'clock hour, 120, a completion number, yeah, back to a reset on the 10th of September. Okay, so we could be referencing back to the 1st of September as well with the numerology for that. But what is interesting is, as this is Guy Ritchie's birthday as well, Madonna's ex-husband, what's fascinating about this is that he will be turning 57 on this particular date this year. Okay, so if he's turning 57, well, there was some stuff that started sort of I was thinking about, and so the connection with this to Guy Ritchie and back to Madonna through Guy Ritchie, I thought, well, I've got to do, and obviously, you know what the Crystal Palace represents is it's the glass dome, it is the womb again, yeah, it's again in Desperately Seeking Susan, Madonna's counterpart is Roberta Glass. Okay, so it's this idea of the glass house or the glass room, or however you want to look at it, but it's the metaphysical womb. Okay, the metaphysical. Anyway, let me show you something now. Okay, so this is reflecting back to the idea of the metaphysical or the feminine type symbolism, right? So I went from, and I think I had this in the other video, but 5/17. Now the reason why I've got 5/17/2025 up here is because this was the FA Cup final. If you're not English, this is a big tournament that is played in England, and it's a big deal. Okay, so it's the FA Cup, and it took place on 17th of May. Crystal Palace won 1-0 against Manchester City, Man City. Okay, and that took place on May the 17th. Now, what's interesting about May the 17th? This is the twin date for Madonna's birthday. Okay, if we just click to this real quick, May the 17th, 137228, flip through to Madonna's birthday. Okay, 16th, 228, 137. Okay, that's the connection there. Now, when we do that number jump, it's, lo and behold, it's 91 days. Super interesting. Okay, we can also do this little gig here and go through to this projected death date, and now we're on to the 9/5. And as we were talking about MJ Magic Johnson, and we've got a lot of MJs going on, Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson, and we've also got Michael J. Fox as well. Okay, and of course Fox, we were just talking about the 666 with Madonna, and Fox, obviously you can run some gematria ciphers that will give you 666, but just in the basic alphabet, the only 3 letters in the alphabet that will reduce down to a 6, okay, to give you a 666 is F, O, and X. Okay, those are the only numbers in the alphabet. So as individual letters, you can get a 6 out of each letter. Okay, so Fox is special that way. Okay, so anyway, well, we'll come on to some stuff with that in just a second. But this 95 coming up again, we had some 95s with Ozzy's death, I think. Can't remember off the top of my head what they were. But if we look at this, let me show you something with Michael Jackson's death now. Okay, because I showed you in the last video that you can wangle it. I think you have to include an end date with one of the number jumps and not the other one. But for Madonna's birthday, she was going to be, let's see if this thing will work. Come on. Come on. Oh, click it again. Oh, see, look at this. This computer's all over the place. But anyway, for Madonna's birthday through, it was 22476 days from her birthday through to this date. And then Michael Jackson was the same number jump. I think you had to include end date, which would take you from his birthday through to 9/1. Okay, so they had this matchup. Now, what was interesting is this is Michael Jackson's death date through to potentially Madonna's death date, and it's bang on 5,900 days. So this was, again, this is just interesting. Where do I put in a video? This is going in here. Okay, get off of this. Okay, so you know, let's move on fairly rapidly here. So I want to show you something else with the number jumps here. This is the FA Cup final again, okay, through to 5/7/1983, which is the War Games film. Okay, this is the release of War Games at Cannes. Okay, right here. Now, kind of interesting, because you know this is this is the control center here. This is Crystal Palace right here. Okay, that is Crystal Palace, and you know our number jump from
low battery.
Going back from our number jump going back from the FA Cup final to War Games 15351, palindropic, yeah, the 153, the Vesica Pisces, super duper interesting with the relationship to Crystal Palace, the idea of the Vesica Pisces, that gateway, the glass doorway, the window through to the other metaphysical realm. So that number just in itself, the symbolism of that number is just mental. Also, the 5/7, Guy Ritchie's going to be ex-husband of Madonna, 57 years old on that Crystal Palace and his birthday. Okay, so this is interesting, and just the fact that we've got the 5/7 throwing up, and again this is the twin date for Madonna's birthday. So it's just absolutely, just those number jumps alone are just crazy. But if we continue on, I forgot what else I've got to do in here now. Oh, I wanted to show you this scene. So this is where, yeah, we've got the Volkswagen Beetle, you know, and the Volkswagen sign is very similar to the Hospice Maria symbol, and it's also got this bus has got the same coloration for the Virgin Mary, the blue and the white, and it's crashing into the Fox, yeah, the 666. Again, we were looking at the 666 with Michael Jordan. Why do I keep saying Michael Jordan now? I guess I'll go look at Michael Jordan. No, Magic Johnson. Okay, so we were looking at the connection with Magic Johnson and this thing. Okay, the 666, the Fox. Right. This is where this thing essentially dies, right? And at that point is where Marty made the jump back to 1955. Now, what is interesting about this point is there is a time on the clock, and let me show you what that time is. It's 1:35. This is the time that is on the clock when that happens. Okay, this isn't the actual scene showing that particular time, but this is the later on scene when Marty's going back to the future, back to 1985, and Doc has already inputted this for Marty, sending back to exactly the same time. Okay, so it's 1:35, and I want to show you something that happens here. But that 1:35 again, that's kind of interesting with this connection back to this War Games connection and the Crystal Palace connection now. Let me show you something else. 135 now changes. So what happens is, if you've not, hopefully you've seen the film and everybody's familiar with this, but Marty was trying to explain to Doc that he was going to get shot. Doc didn't want to listen. He wrote in the letter, he ripped the letter up, and so Marty's like, well, I'll just go back early and warn Doc. Okay, so he's going to change this time here, and he's supposedly supposed to take 10 minutes off, but he actually 11 minutes comes off the clock. And again, 10:11 is a reference to 315, because the 10th of November, which is in the dollar bill as well, is the 300. No, sorry, I'm getting that wrong. That is a reference to Pi. That's the 314th day of the year, and then the following day, which is 11/11, which will give us our Hoover Dam 11/11, is 315. Okay, so again with the Hoover Dam connection with 11/11. If I'm getting this right, yes. And I guess I need to show you another number jump that's in Lucas numbers, which also relates to 315, and it's a Christmas jump that's in Lucas numbers, which I actually will need to sit down and do a video and show you that number jump, that couples in with some other number jumps to do with Pluto.
Low battery.
Oh, I don't know why that it's plugged in. I don't know what's doing that. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought now. So this 135, he's going to change it to warn Doc, right? Let's just see what happens. There's what he changes to. 124. Let me show you something with 124 now. Oh dear, oh dear. Desperately Seeking Susan. The death of, which I've been talking about, which is the death of Madonna in this film, encoded with Magic Johnson. There, I said it right. 4:12 or 12:4. Yeah. Look at the time. 10:04, 10:4 or 1:04. This is the numerology for the clock stopping. Okay, with the clock tower. Look at this. Right. Where was we at? Which one was he on? This one here. Oh, I can't remember what we was even on now. There it is. Yeah, 12:4. Desperately Seeking Susan. The death of Madonna. Connecting this date back with 135. Yeah, because that's the time he should be going back to, which is the time when this thing, when he's jetted back to 1955, it's 1:35 at this point in 1955. Okay. Back with this stuff here, I'm just all over the place, but you can see how it all ties in. What else do I want to show you? I think we already did Guy Ritchie. Yeah, he's 56 right now, so he's going to be 57. There's the September the 10th, which is matching up with the Crystal Palace. Yeah, and the Crystal Palace is the control center. Yeah, the control center where the Whopper computer is housed. Yeah, in War Games. Yeah, the Whopper computer. Let me show you something. In this scene in Back to the Future that we've been talking about and going on and on about, right? If we just drop back just a few seconds earlier, okay, we'll notice that there's the Whopper wrapper from Burger King here. The Whopper computer. I know it's spelled as WOPR for the Whopper computer. Okay, and here is the Whopper wrapper right before this. The War Games. In War Games, look. Come on, bring it up. This is Jennifer Mack. Yeah, Matthew Broderick is Michael J. Fox, or vice versa, is Jenny Mac. And in Back to the Future, we have. Do I have anything up here about that? No, but Jennifer Parker is Back to the Future. Okay, so the girlfriend in Back to the Future is Jennifer Parker, and here it is Jennifer Mac. Okay, Mac and Parker, types of jackets. Okay, it's not, I mean, the connections are just, there's tons of little things like that, just the little connections. What else we got? I don't think there's anything else that I can mention here. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, War Games, yes. The Whopper computer, Joshua, is gonna potentially unleash something pretty bad. Okay, trying to think. I feel like I'm missing something. I've forgotten something here. Oh well. We're calling it a day. Desperately Seeking Susan, the same number as the 135. Unbelievable on that connection back. Okay, thanks for watching. I will catch you on another one soon. Alright, cheers, bye.